Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Alright guys, so let's look at the price of Bitcoin, what happened in the market, some news, etc. What we are seeing now is that we are continuing to be in the same falling wedge as we were yesterday, and this 1, 2, 3 times we did try to test it. It's up the top part, the resistance, but we didn't break it, and now we're actually like on the way to test it once again, maybe. Yesterday I was talking about on Twitter. I posted this tweet that there is a zone from 3,200 to 3,300 where we probably which we would like to test very soon. And if we test and go below and hold below that, then probably it will be the breakdown. But we test and we actually bounced off of that a few hours ago. At the moment we can see the small triangle formation, which will be resolved within a day or something, even faster, like within few hours probably. And technically it has higher chances to go low than higher. Also, I must say that at the moment there are a lot of people who are calling for $3,000, and I was among of them as well, and I'm actually continue to say that this level must fall and we shall go below that. But the difference is that I don't think that it could be the lowest level as of this falling movement from like November or something. I think that will stop not at the certain level but at the certain situation of the market. While some people say like, okay, $3,000 is the bottom or something like that. And like, even for example, I mentioned recently Anthony Pompliano, which I respect a lot, but he said that one of his recent podcasts, that if Bitcoin will touch $3,000, he will go all into crypto. Great stuff. I would agree that it's a perfect situation. It's really important to catch those sweet prices, but I don't think that it is really the bottom if you want to catch the falling knife. The thing is, at the moment, the huge players, huge investors, whales, whatever you call it, they are playing so-called musical chairs with Bitcoin. And while the music is continuing to play, we are seeing those players running around the chair of Bitcoin, and they are happy that the price is going down. They are dumping, but then the music will stop. Then all of them will try to sit on that chair, and probably just one or two would have a chance to get their position, and all the others would have to buy Bitcoin at much higher prices. The question is when the music will stop. It doesn't mean that there is a certain fundamental level like $1,000 or $500 or $2,000, whatever, to which Bitcoin price is aiming to. There is no such fundamental level. There's no any reason to see that, otherwise it will be really targeted by many. But it's exactly like when the market will be sort of saturated, when we will see that this is the point when the greed among those who are not fearful at this time is very, very strong. And when it will happen, then we'll see the reversal, and only at the point of the bottom we will be able to tell about it to more or less reasonable certainty. Although even at that point it could be really could be the bull trap. So my strategy, and the strategy which I would say I would call the best at the current bear market, is that if you see, for example, again the drop to $3,000, buy. If you see after that or before that the rise to 3,500, then sell. like even $5,500 range when you will have your buy and sell orders would be good enough. So as soon as you sell something but keep something for the long term, you would be in the profit. If the price will go even lower, again, buy the things which you sold at the higher levels partially, and keep some portion of that to the lower level. So it will not, in that case, you will not be affected to the manipulations and those swings, but you will be profitable on that. And if full price will go $1,000, the worst thing which could happen is that you'll become the long-term investor. And the absolutely ultimately worst thing that could happen is that you will become a long-term investor for like years, and that you invested more than you can afford to lose. But this is the point from which you should start. So if you considering that you need your money within like year, 2, 5 years, then think of how much do you need and try to resolve the situation, because you must not use your money which you really will need within a certain period of time, and use it as investments. Okay, now let's talk about some news. The US SEC Chairman Jay Clayton say that ICOs can be effective, but securities laws must be followed. Pretty much the obvious statement, but he was sort of still supporting the sentiment, the positive sentiment among the market, saying that okay, don't worry, ICOs are good, just need to make some regulations, we will not kill it, it's not all scams. So overall, just some positiveness along the space. The second thing is that we didn't look at this, but I guess that we shall mention this, but it's not that crucial. Coinbase continues to explore support for new digital assets. They mentioned 30 different tokens, a lot of the interesting ones like Cardano, Neo, and new like Mainframe and QuarkChain and XRP, of course, Stellar. So they are it was December 7th, sorry. And the thing is that they were about to list so many, like they say, hundreds, maybe altcoins within the next year, and they're indeed trying to push this further. Now they mentioned they announced the 4 additional tokens. It's Civic, it is District OX, it's a Loom Network, and Decentraland are launching on Coinbase Pro. And I must say that there is nothing in terms of the price action which is noticeable for these coins at the moment of the announcement. Basically, well, it's at least they didn't jump like 100% or something, like even 50%. And if you happen the same with XRP, for example, then maybe that would lead to some rise in price, significant rise in price. But for those in this bear situation, probably like liquidity is not that huge and so on. So didn't really look at this because of the small impact, but I guess we shall still follow this news, and it's still some development on the market which should give us some confidence in the future. One of the last things which I want to mention is this behavior of the Tether. As you remember, after this sell-off, when we had a lot of the Tether went to Bitcoin, that's why we had this jump in Bitfinex and Binance, in Bitcoin price to like 7,800, but it was the sell-off of the Tether. And the next drop of the Tether was mostly on the general drop of Bitcoin, and also the sort of a FUD around Tether as well, and that one was more like gradual and predicted. So that was the factor of the Bitcoin went down to what it was, well, the first leg down. In any case, after that there was a consolidation and some less how to say, the following drops of Bitcoin were not that strong or not that unexpected, to sort of speak. And finally, now we're approaching in Tether to $1. We didn't touch $1 yet, and we're now going back to lower values of the Tether. So if the same situation may appear, it's because we're like approaching it now, if the same situation will appear, then probably we'll see the simultaneous drop in Bitcoin price, very likely to happen. So let's look carefully at Tether, and that might be the initiation for the new leg to down to like below $3,000, something like that. So all the signs are aligned in one line, and we are basically expecting this drop. Finally, I need to mention the standard traditional markets. Nasdaq, if you see, we were expecting it to go higher to new higher high, lower high, but it didn't actually go there yet, and it's really likely that it may repeat the same thing that happened here. So we may go to a little bit little correction after this drop, and then eventually we'll go even lower. So again, within a few days we'll see how it will behave. I don't think that will go sideways. Some move up or down will be expected, is expected, and if we'll go low again, this would be the nice sort of excuse for Bitcoin going to the new lower low, if there is any correlation. The same with Dow Jones, same with S&P. So basically we are having the same situation all around, all over the place. Okay, so that was the short update. I hope it was useful. If yes, please leave a like, your comment. Let's discuss what is happening in the market and what is your expectation. Where is the bottom for where did you put your buy orders, or did you completely leave crypto and don't want to enter until the next bull run when it will be obvious? So let me know. And subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Safe trading, guys. Don't forget that everything which I say is my personal opinion, not financial advice. See you tomorrow in the next update. Goodbye.